ladies and gentlemen. Of course, it's a stretch of our due today. The concerns, of course, which we just see from Uganda, and examples which your schools as a child where you attend, if you attended traditional primary school, you attended high school, you go to college, universities, maybe you're advanced event and you do career jobs. Of course, they all contributed as a recommendation from your schools. And then those recommendations could be from the school boards of members. And then those members, they are parental teachers associations, or professions associations, or professional associations, and it depends. For instance, if they are CPAs or if they are others, and then of course they are all of course they are others different cases and concern of different of the hackers alerts. Of course, if those people, of course, they relate, like for myself, if I face the problems, this is in my primary schools, living certificate, my PLE. I did the PLE exams is coming not from Kampala. The PLE exam is coming from Moyo district. If Moyo district said, yeah, we do offer the PLE to Adjumani, and then around that year we start for the exams. Okay, and then we did the exam, and then we start for the exams, and then that's Moyo provided the PLE exams. So now, if we did that mock result come from Moyo, and then we did it, and then we complete, and then the PLE is the national. I mean, again, this Moyo and the Kampala are contributing the whole systems vis-a-vis to this one to the students. And then they said, yeah, this is Kampala and Moyo, so contributed to this PLE. So they bring the PLE, we did the result, yeah, and then we did the exams, and then of course they have to issue all the students they go to the rewards of the PLE results. If I obtain my PLE results and then I have it, and then I migrated with this PLE result, and then my O level and A level results, they were not in the school. The O level results is not in the schools, and then I leave this one the schools, and then I went to another country, Kenya, and then I migrated from Uganda to Kenya for research and other things, and also for education, and then to look going to abroad, like where I'm now speaking. So with these orders, now I brought tradition with me, then my PLE results. So that is the PLE results, and then of course it is, and then there also. So for some of you guys, addition my O level addition, my schools O levels and whatever you name it. I show you the ID of my high schools. If I show you the ID of the high schools, then can say that yeah, I have the ID there of the high schools, and then of course I did my exams completed, and then there I have no other school recommendation from the headmaster of the high schools. Even did not write the recommendation because we're still waiting for the result, but I cannot wait, and then I have to go and do my results somewhere. So because I need urgent things, that's why I leave the country and then I go to Kenya, and then there I begin doing research with the teaching. I want to become a teacher, and then if I want to become a teacher, I want to do, yeah, and then I have this PLE, and then a guy from no scratch from nowhere, and then open my backpack and then smuggle this order, and then went somewhere with it. And then how do you expect if those orders another guy is negotiated? My headmaster, which as myself I'm a volunteer, then I have my headmaster of the school where I'm volunteering said, yeah, maybe it could be a guy from where no scratch to no scratch, and then come back, and then involved that claiming this kind of order can get they can make a roll call in the school. And then that's why they smuggle for that PG for you to boost this standard enrolled, and then making roll call, and then also able to write on the chalkboard, and then goes for other class. So that's why we say if that's the situation, and then what kind of a jokes are people will create, and then from there, of course, I have my textbooks, which I say that there are those textbooks, they are there. The test papers, of course, I summarize those test papers, the papers which I read well to pass that exams. Of course, those papers will be very supportive even for me up to now. And then, if all of them also smuggled away from my hand, and then I write my own books, all years, called all years. And then I wrote the books before this SPLA leader, John Grange, is even there as a rebel in Sudan. And then I wrote the books before coming to Canada, and then I completed that books all year, but no computer, no smartphone, no nothing. I think if you have a photo there, that could be the mobile money which you have in your hand. Some people having on hand is there that times. So when I was migrating to this country, no smartphone, no nothing, of course. And then there, of course, no computers. People normally write with pen and books. That's why. So if that's the situation, then I found myself in dilemma. And then what I do is this: when I painted a book to go, and if I become now a university, and then I will become now writing those books with computers. That's my talent. Which I have with that old books. The old book is like a diary. I bring a diary, and then I write. The diary is also smuggled. And then until I have a book like this, one only, they leave it at my hand, and then they grab all the rest of the books away. The guy at the checkpoint took it away when I was booking the airline today to go to Canada now. And then the guy smuggled and said, these books cannot go to Canada even. If I want, let me go. If I want, I cannot even sit here. Even if I sit here, this book is not here. The book will disappear. What will I do? So I said, I asked, and then the guy even refused, cannot even say so. The checkpoint guy. So I ended doing nothing. That's why he's a regret. If this is the PTA, if this is the schools, Juba systems, and then we scratch, and then we investigate, and we scratch and investigate, and then we say, if this is a Juba University, then this is a lower university or lower college or lower secondary schools, and then do for me this order around my family homes areas, college one, and then doing these orders, and then do they hire the guy doing this kind of order? Is the guy too intelligent that cannot be approached even by my securities? So if they cannot be approached, then what is the required solution there? And then what are good things that we can do upon this guy, kind of a guy? So that's why I failed, and then my security also failed to approach the guy. The guy cannot be identified. And then we quit murmuring, and then I went to college. The guy who smuggled these orders want themselves. Anytime I get this higher, they have to get higher. I get this higher, they have to get this higher. So let me update them, let me update myself, let me update them, let me update myself. So how do you expect the child recommendation will be made upon? If I'm the headmaster, you are the headmaster, then you are the PTA or the school superintendent, or if they call school superintendent among the Canadians, say this is school superintendent. Maybe this is the board, school board member. Okay, and then so what will you do upon this kind of a child? This is the child situation. The child is situation in that manner, and then what shall the child keep possessing a fake copy if the church instead reinstated that they want the original copy as their policy, if they want smart for smart. And then what will you fake? What is the scenarios and what is the authorizations of giving them the fake copy, leaving them the fake copies, and then running away with their original authors? What is the use of that? So in those areas we said sealed life by edition by unreached persons who tend to be edition are very scamful and fraud of course hacking edition passion traditionally believed hiding the truth of some children's talent or performance record as if hired by headmaster PTA after each rich child left school, she which such rich act must be monitored as a child anywhere. Of course, in this example, for Juba primary schools and areas, primary schools in Juba, Sudan, of course, in area, of course, a primary living certificate, a serious crime for a child to obtain his or her school reward. Of course, is stolen primary living certificate, the PLA result is stolen, driver's license is stolen. The record also said the driver's license is stolen. Primary, secondary school textbooks all stolen. Updated college and career NDAs also stolen. Fake copies left even went managing this bank. Backlog the only topic here in, of course, Juba and Lower are trained. Are those really Juba and Lower really trained? Of course, we say so. Is that Lagu? Is those guys like Lagu and Lagu who acted as the Sudan coup? Because they believe on the Lagu coup guy. Because if so, and then because he's a disaster, and then we cannot even get them fired. Of course, they will keep building. You know, a terrorist is not easy to finish, but you have to be a good preacher on daily basis to sustain the relationships. Otherwise, that is what we call to mastermind and master plan. With these slavery leaders of Canada, of course, hidden and oral hiding on any rich child. We got them fired with their performance, but not their inter-performance talent. Do you think sharing can enable the society, their doings and wants isolated is more secured and more developing for large-scale managements of groups? And then we also there, but not at rich child order of corruption to ensure the old self-punishment at the end. Because if they say to the tent and the tent, so that they will be able to serve the punishment at the end. Of course, not all individuals want to serve, to end at serving the punishments at the end. They want resolutions, their own resolutions, which they know is too tight there for them, and then which they are taking forward, of course, with them. And then complicated issues with the lack of audition hiring for the right jobs, and then passions and payment. Of course, compensated employees and employees are easier, of course, to understand than the volunteer we have at work daily. Of course, lacking basic skills to manage self-estimates and friendships in any single societies we all belong or we belong. No contract were paid or compensated since the contract began. All done jobs were not roughly paid, but I personally did not even force any forward anger to split people. I always look for personal advice and resolution to my daily backups. So it is what I've been going through on my business life here in Canada, and then looking at me. Of course, look at me or look at myself, and then that is what we request there. And then if you look at my face can tell you again, we say so there. And then according to my strong conditional advice, sharing with all my peers, teams across the world, of course, tension of course mounted between me and those hackers said to be old Juba graduate, punishing me to regret from what I don't know in Sudan, or forgotten orders of pride given to a child as a means of to ensure future achievement. But headmaster or black post from the school concentration failing my business strategies, of course, restaurant need a DNA for every single restaurant to be supported in N levels of an upgrades. You know, anytime poor or semi-poor, already said mean my child acted in new levels of achievement must also update my crime to achievement, so that we can equally balance between our status and performance. Denied every child rights at the schools, and then public ownerships as an goal to achievements and a reward for all performance. Of course, is stolen by force, not at my will, not addition driver's lands, textbooks, and then of course test papers, and then the office had been of course faked, and the original copies were of course black pushed, and then the hackers of course hostage of far away my orders of additional childhood, and then having things I don't manage regularly at home, or on the going for future lunatic holding himself or herself from the child, complicating the matters, of course, setting chaos with the child parent not here abroad. And then for this kind of a child need to act, look, reason, think, create content with the families. The child must of course move every advice, and then keep adjusting his or her content in order to achieve, of course, the next level of diplomacy. Of course, proving his or her DNA advice must also resolute there and then daily school elected as deputies, encourage with the headmasters appointed this one down. Appointed the police robbed and driver's lands of the child or a client wealth not in a driveway, but was found in a public hotel, Hilton Hotel. Then the driver's lands was of course found to be on the renewal case, to be only mailed to the client home, government subsidized. The Ministry of Transportation to Canada says so, and then that is of course a renewal process, and then mail as regular to each client's mails. Of course, the school elected professional concerned to those matters as being dealt for the school child record monitoring, so the crime of the patient conducting on his or her failure with the national exams, or how to of course develop a department said to be the richest or most famous people of the news or national. Of course, as someone said, is done in order to serve for the crime screening strategies, unless the child performance never dropped, but won't also profit his or her life, of course. Regulators after each performance is completed, according to Canada, is called superintendent, chairperson of the school, a PTA, and all provision school board members. Of course, that is business strategies, minimum wage, maximum wage, but strategies for the SPLA, M-SOUTHSUDAN, of course, as Juba, Sudan. And then the good strategies remain Juba, Sudan, SPLA. And then the advanced Sudan Borderlands policies is the 2021 9,999. With Ethiopia, with Kenya, with Uganda, with the DRC and Central Africa, Chad, Libya, of course, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Eritrea, and then you name it, that's the list there, of course. And then the unknown calls are those numbers there, and then the personal brand price, don't grant this one the copyright of, and please ensure you use the direct, of course, market price instead, or go or factory direct marketing price for and to install society control. Persons are not animals, we are all human beings, of course. Most handheld devices have problems. They are already owned device by health person selling. Of course, the hand brand new device for the market that people normally get from the market or from the seller for free, either for small amount of exchange, which you pay small amount of money or large amount of money for, we don't know, but must be by each buyer's demand, making marketing all the offers available by comparing. So, and without, of course, for that price from any videos that we publish or another individual publish, of course, otherwise you view, you comment, as regards. Otherwise, these are all just a scratch of vision of the new areas that we just scratch, because that is concerned of this one. If I'm to put my recommendations, if I'm and myself, my hand is still there using the pen and then writing. Now I'm assisted because I have the technologies, I have computers, I have a phone, I can write as much as I want. But these the books, whatever. This is the books, the computers. I write to the computers. So what about this one? My books which I put in the computers. How am I gonna get it published? Who's gonna get it published for me? Who's gonna arrange it? So if the stealing is still there stealing, and then this content we are publishing and creating to defend those kind of stolen reduce very much, and then the stolen is increasing that area, so that they keep clearing, from the back. 5 years ago, they cleared this much away. We are losing, right? So we are losing. So the backlog is of course narrowing a lot. So on overview to scratch, of course, that is just a sketch of all of those areas which we have there, and then we talk of all this line here. That is of course areas which we were talking about, in which we of course scanned there all along, and then so that is just overview to all the areas which we just demonstrate for you, of course. Easy regards, and then that is just clarifications of the minutes which we just we held to read it. Whatever the reading is not there, you cannot still get it. So you go yourself to the comment line. You can get into details those orders yourself, and then you can also do a copy and paste or to yourself, and then you read it on your own paste. So that is also regards, because copy and paste is also copyright production, which we are doing to help individuals, people like us who are too behind with the book publications, because we have alternatives of the books. This is how I was combining these days my books. So all my books normally look like this. So the papers normally look like that. So I do my own things, because they do give for us the binders. You buy the binders, and then you buy the papers, and then you print your office informations. That's why if you print all of them, and then you pile them all in the box. But now things got worse, because I can no longer afford the ink. The ink is $150. That is way too beyond. The ink was this one $24. That's when I was printing all this kind of binder. It was $24, and then a box. So now it's $150. It's not easy to print. I'm very poor yet. So that's why everything is very complicated. The guy which is smuggling want all my information, whatever. This one must not be published, must not be even held. That's why if you look at this publication which we release here on these books here, and the one we have in the storage, in the book, in the bookkeeping store, all of them, even they're fake copies which they left for me here. So those information of our logos, even they're not good enough. The guy stolen around here. So that's why I'm a fake copy now, and then they went original somewhere. That's why if the compromise of the vehicle doesn't match, the compromise of the composition doesn't match, the compromise of the work organization doesn't match, that could be the situation, because that's authorizations. We really have no idea. That is basically to do with the child issue and behavior, and then the child's wants, and then the child's demands, and then as an headmaster, as an PTAs, and then that is the regrets. So think about it. So if you can think. If you cannot think, that is the only alternative in all situations which we have so far. And then of course me, White Hassan does it all.